month. Hello again and welcome back to my channel. I'm Nicole and welcome to I Was Almost Florence. The lighting is not that great today. It's very intense upon my face, but I waited until the last minute to possibly film this video. And today I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite documentaries of all time, so let's get started. So I grouped them into 3 different categories. There's food, art, and social and animal justice. So the first few that I would like to talk about are, I recently watched What the Health, and I'd seen Cowspiracy about a year ago, and they are some of the most compelling documentaries that I've ever come across. What the Health breaks down the impact that eating meat and dairy has upon the human body as a whole. It significantly increases rates for cancer, as well as a various amount of heart diseases, even diabetes, because as they explain, like, a common misconception is the fact that that sugar is the main reason why people get diabetes, when in reality it's actually a high-fat diet, because the fat coats the cells so it can't absorb any of the glucose or the sugars that are naturally occurring. So that causes the insulin levels to rise and become abnormal, and that's why people gain insulin resistance over time. And then Cowspiracy goes into the major agriculture health aspects, because another common misconception is the fact that transportation is the main cause and reason why we have global warming, when in reality it's actually the agriculture industry, because cows produce a huge amount of methane that pollutes the planet, and if we were to get those methane levels down, it would create less of a barrier so that the greenhouse gases would be able to escape instead of bouncing back down to earth and continuing to heat up our climate. So those are, I talked about this, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in my Why I Went Vegan video, which is coming soon, so stay tuned. Because it really made me think about, do I want to be supporting an industry that doesn't align with my values, that pollutes the environment profusely, and I just didn't feel comfortable doing that anymore. So Cowspiracy I saw about a year and a half ago, and is one of the reasons why I decided to go vegan. And then What the Health just confirmed my rationale, I guess you could say, or confirmed my decision to remain vegan, because of the fact that if I go back to eating meat and dairy, it will have a really negative impact upon my personal health as a whole. Couple other food ones, Food Inc., as well as Super Size Me. So I saw Food Inc. and Super Size Me years ago when I was younger, and I recently rewatched them, and they're amazing. Both of them are very well done. Food Inc. does kind of what Cowspiracy and What the Health do as a whole together. I mean, What the Health kind of focuses upon the individual, whereas Food Inc. really goes into the overall impact that it has upon the individual at the government level, at the personal level. It really gets down to the people who are handling our meat, and it really shows how awful the meat industry is, and actually how corrupt it is, unfortunately, in the United States. And it's just really, it just is a huge wake-up call, and I highly recommend. And Super Size Me just shows, there are some people in the United States, and I'm sure other places as well, who can't afford fresh fruits and vegetables because the cost of a head of lettuce is $1 when you can get 2 hamburgers for $1 at some fast food chains. So Super Size Me just really shows the amount of bodily harm that eating fast foods every day can really cause to the body, and it's also just really profound. Transitioning into other profound things, art. My favorite, I think it's 3, yeah. My 3 favorite art documentaries are The Artist is Present, Marina Abramovich, The Artist is Present, Ai Weiwei, Never Sorry, as well as Exit Through the Gift Shop. So I took a performance art class last semester with one of the greatest teachers of all time. She's great. And we did a lot of study on Marina Abramovich and her performance art. It's very intense, very often, sometimes high impact. She has videos and recordings of herself running into walls, running into other people, and it was just really crazy to see how one person could sit for 8 hours a day for, I think it was like quite a few days, I think maybe 90 days, and just sit there and be present and with every single one of the people who came and sat down across from her, I think is insane. And it takes a lot of, not just like physical endurance, but also a lot of emotional endurance to be able to sit there and give it your all to every single person that you have in that moment. And Ai Weiwei Never Sorry, he is such a great artist because he shows a lot of the conflict that the Chinese government wants to cover up, and I just have so much respect for him. I first came across some of his artwork in Washington, D.C., where he was, I think it's the, Sichuan earthquake. He wrote all of the names down on a wall of the children who passed away because of the earthquake, and he also made a snake out of backpacks hanging to represent each of the children who also died in the earthquake and was impacted. And he does a lot of amazing work beyond that as well, and he's just also a very resilient person. Then exit through the gift shop. I'm sure this might be a little bit controversial maybe, because people aren't entirely sure whether or not Banksy actually did film this documentary, but if Banksy did in fact film it, it's brilliantly done to make the person watching it have so much doubt as to whether or not this actually is Banksy who is doing the filming and the directing. So yeah, moving on, I have a couple more, I have 3 social and animal justice, last but not least. So the first is Blackfish. So zoos used to make me really happy as a kid, but now that I'm older, I'm still a little half and half on them. I understand that some animals do actually need to be rehabilitated for a period of time so that they can get better, but to simply keep animals in a area that they're not comfortable in for long periods of time just so they can be gawked at other human beings makes me really uncomfortable. And I've never gone to SeaWorld or any, like, I've been to the Baltimore Aquarium before where they have like the whale or dolphin show, and I did enjoy that, but Blackfish gave me a whole new perspective on the, like, confining an animal. And Blackfish really goes into the depth of SeaWorld and how corrupt it is and how much it has harmed the animals that it has captured and brought in to perform for people. It also demonstrates that animals are wild. They are completely unpredictable. You can't just train an animal a few tricks and expect it to not be frustrated after a certain period of time, or to not expect certain gratification when it comes, and that we shouldn't underestimate the animals that we deal with in our day-to-day lives, and that they're beings themselves and they think for themselves. Whether or not that aligns with like human thought is a completely different discussion, but the fact that SeaWorld has gotten away with so much corruption and so much mishandling and mistreatment of their animals just showed me that I don't want to support SeaWorld ever in my entire life as much as I possibly can. Then moving on to 13th. I saw 13th fall semester of last year, so fall semester of 2016, and it blew my mind. I already knew that the United States prison system was corrupt, and I've been aware of the shootings of police officers, of unarmed black men and women, and it just has made me very upset about the way in which the US prison system is handled. It's a business, essentially, and I've read about it in Baltimore happening, where they specifically will recruit, per se, black and minority men to enter into the prison system as a whole, which is so unfortunate, because instead of rehabilitating people that actually do need help and care and should probably be able to enter back into society, they just throw them in a cell and mistreat them. And 13th does it a lot more eloquently than I am doing right now, and it just is really frustrating. And as someone who has a brother who is a black male, it is extremely frustrating to see that this could be him. Like, it could very well be him or one of my friends from home who ends up in this situation. But you should definitely watch 13th to be made aware of the US prison system. Then last but not least, The Keepers. I recently watched The Keepers because I'd seen most of Making a Murderer. I'm still finishing it up, so maybe I will give it ratings on that later. But for The Keepers, it goes into the corruption of, in Baltimore, I think it's Baltimore County. Well, it's somewhere in Maryland. It really shows light on the corruption that religious institutions can have and how the power of even speaking out and having the ability to speak out can really cause a change. Unfortunately, it's inconclusive as to the, unfortunately the ending is kind of inconclusive in terms of that the local and state government are actually doing to solve the issue and ensure that something like this doesn't happen again. But in the US, we are so highly promoters of justice and anti-corruption, when in reality it's been happening. It hopefully will not continue to happen, but there are just things that occur, and we as individuals have to try our best to stand up for those who don't have the voice and who are not empowered enough. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I realize now that my glasses are also on, so this video is going to be interesting. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe below, and let me know what other videos you would like to see in the future. And it's windy. Alright, bye.